Hi, this is Vicky with Learning Home Volunteers, and welcome to our nerd learning session entitled Birds. Last week, the springtime change. Oh, wow. So on my way to work, I noticed trees blooming in pink, white flowers. The smell was wonderful. And in my garden, the little grape hyacinths were making their spring appearance. I'm still waiting for my daffodils to bloom, but their little green stalks are above. And I certainly sure that their little yellow faces will come up soon. I've seen lots of birds making nests, and I hope that time soon, we'll see some eggs in those nests, and then the little ones waiting for something to eat. So we thought it would be a great time to celebrate and explore our bird neighbors. We have three books in this session. Um, I think, have you ever wondered how a seed actually finds its place to grow? Well, this first book, Flip, Float, and Fly, is all about that. And it's all about seeds on the move. Our next book is about a little boy who is taken by a girl who only has eyes for birds. So, to catch her attention, he decides to become a bird, which is pretty funny. Wait till you read about that. And then our next book is written by Lois Elhart about her cat who really, really, really wants to catch a bird. The cat's owner has a trick to make sure that the bird is never caught by the cat. A noisy early warning for the birds, a bell on their collar. I hope you enjoy the three books. I think they're lovely. Our first activity is activity number one, and we're actually going to grow grass seeds. Seeds um, are the main way that plants actually grow, and we decided to grow some seeds one more time. We're going to grow grass seed, and in your box, you're going to find some water beads and a few grass seeds and a small clear cup. First, you want to put your water beads in the small cup and add water. This water will actually be absorbed by the water beads in a couple hours. And once those water is absorbed, then shove the beads or the seeds in along the sides of the cup. The seeds come up in a few days, and once the grass sprouts, it will continue to grow just as long as the water beads have water in them. If you want more grass later, give us a call and we're happy to send you some more seeds. I think it's a fun thing. Oh, and cats really like it. Our second activity is watering or gardening. Oh, in order for plants to grow, they need three things: something to grow in, most of the time, dirt, water, and sunlight. And in your box, we have provided uh, a pipette and then a gardening tool. One of the many things that your child is actually going to have to learn how to do at some point is to pour. And I like to do all pouring activities in a casserole dish that looks like this. Learning to pour is a skill that a lot of children acquire sometimes during the age of 2 to 6. And you can start that process with dry materials by having them pour beads or rice from one container to the other. But if you do a little preparation, learning how to pour liquids is an easy skill to actually acquire. First, we want to put the container that can hold all the liquids you're going to use and a little bit more. It should be flat and have a side. You can place it on a towel. I've used plastic tubs, square baking dishes, even plastic trays. You want to have a non breakable container that you're going to put the liquid in. It could be a plastic cup, a watering can, a pitcher, a sippy cup. The important thing is that the child can hold it easily, and I like to work on the cleanup skills at the same time. So normally I have a sponge standing by. Then you want to fill it with water if you're going to start with liquid, and let the child try. Maybe it'll end up in the cup. Maybe it won't. I mean, remember this is something that requires practice. So let them pour the water back and forth, back and forth. Children love pouring, and they love working with water. Once they kind of control the fact that they can get it in the container, you can add another more skill, like we're seeing here, where they actually pour to the line. We've also provided a pipette, but maybe you have a syringe that you give medicine with. Getting water from a syringe, you have to pull the plunger back while the hub is actually in the water. And then to put the water into the cup, you push the plunger like this was happening here. And obviously, the point should be put it into the cup itself. Otherwise, well, they're going to squirt whatever is in their range. We've also provided the pipette, which is used to transfer small amounts of liquid from one container to the other. To get the liquid in the pipette is similar to using a syringe, but you need to press the bulb up on top and then put the pipette in the liquid and then let go of the bulb, and the liquid be actually pulled into the pipette itself. And then to put the water that's in the pipette into a cup, um, you just push on the top of the pipette and it'll actually end up in the cup. Well, obviously, the bottom should be pointed to the cup. You can add all sorts of other items to do water play. I think a spoon is great, things with holes like strainers, a paper cup with holes in the bottom, different kinds of containers. And if you're lucky enough to have a bathtub, that's also really great for water play. Our next activity is number 3, and we call it weeding. And in your box, you're going to find a bag with some Play-Doh and some sticks. We're going to use the Play-Doh in another learning activity, so don't lose it. You want to roll the Play-Doh out and then put sticks in the Play-Doh. And then I like to think of them as flowers. So you ask them to pick the yellow flowers or the purple flowers. And weeding, the idea is we want to remove all the sticks that are not of those color flowers. So this is really an exercise of color differentiation. First, they have to recognize the color we want as our flower, and then they need to remove anything that isn't that color. I'm sure a new skill for your little one. Our next activity, number 4, is feather counting. And it is our last activity for the week, and it requires a little bit of work on your part. In your bag, you're going to find a round circle, a beak, an eye, feathers, and clothespins. And we're first going to need to make your bird. The eye has a plastic cover on it that keeps the sticky part ready. Remove that plastic cover, and the eye will actually adhere to the circle. Next, you want to glue on the beak. And then for the feathers, we're going to glue the feathers onto the clothespin like we're seeing in this second picture. Once you have all your pieces ready, you're ready to play the game. To play the game, you're going to need your dice. You want to roll the dice and then put the corresponding number of feathers on the bird that match the dice. So in this case, the dice was 2. I would put 2 feathers. How fun is that? Well, that's all for now. I will talk to you next week.